Hi, everyone. It's Wanda. And I just wanted to hop on here this morning. I don't know if anyone will join or not. I didn't advertise this because I just was thinking about I should do something. I know that Kim, for those of you who might be seeing this for the first time, the channel, the uh, Life with 18 Cats Unedited is Kim Olson's channel, but Kim also is on this channel. She also co-owner of this channel, which is the Armchair Cat Advocate. So, she's going to be doing a lot the next few days, and she's doing a stream later on this evening. So, or early evening, like around 6 o'clock. And I really didn't want to interfere with her, so I thought I would jump on here now and talk a little bit and just let everyone know that I am just beyond words. I got up early this morning because, Foster Cat used to get me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And since Foster Cat is now no longer here, my cat, Rogue, has taken it upon himself to be the official early morning waker upper. And so the last few mornings, he's been getting me up at 2, which, is a little bit early. But, um, so I've been getting up early and I'm not a morning person. Um, as you can tell, I'm barely put together, but I took care of the indoor crew and I took care of the outdoor crew and the ones on the balcony. And I came in here and I took some went to get my cell phone to go out and get some footage for everybody so you'd have something to watch this morning. And I'm looking at 100 subscribers. Um, I know that. I mean, and I guess it's there's probably, it sounds kind of silly. It's it's only 100 subscribers. I mean, barely. That's not even. That's like a drop in the ocean compared to what you need to be able to go and get monetized. But it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me because um, it's 100 people, and I think one thing that YouTubers don't always consider is the power that they have and how much they can influence people. And they may not even be wanting to influence people. It just kind of happens. Um, I mean, 100 people, 100 people liked our content enough that they wanted to click that subscribe button. That means a lot. I mean, there's how many channels on YouTube? There's like you're inundated every day. The fact that anyone even saw outside of, because of course Kim's channel's already pretty established, so there are people coming from her channel over to the cat advocate, but not everybody from her channel is coming over here. Um, and it's not like Kim says on every one of her streams, go over and subscribe to the Cat Advocate. That's not what's happening, and people are actually finding us. So I'm I'm just I just beyond words that people would be willing to come here and listen to this and look at the content. And I'm hoping that it continues to get better. I really want to start doing more live streams and talking about more issues that impact people who are caring for these cats, whether that be TNR, trap neuter return, or you're doing fostering, or you're doing some kind of rescue, or you're volunteering with a rescue, or you're running a rescue, or you have a informal rescue. These things take a toll on people. And I think, maybe that's something that is needed. because I think we need a safe space, because those people generally don't have anybody that they can sit down and vent to. I mean, we have support groups for a lot of different things, and I know support groups for folks in animal welfare exist, but I don't think we have enough of them. And I think a lot of times those spaces become very political. I mean, I've seen it happen on Facebook groups that I've been a part of, where you have someone that you have, you have all these rescues, and a lot of times the rescues are competing for funding, and they're competing for donations, and they're competing for everything, and some work really well together and others don't play so well together, and there's all kinds of pettiness that goes on. And I don't want, I think we really need a space where that doesn't happen, where we can sit and we can talk about the reality, because the reality is it's hard. It's hard to do this work. It's incredibly hard to do this work. I'll be the first to say, I'm freaking exhausted. I'm exhausted on many levels. I'm exhausted physically. I'm exhausted mentally. I'm exhausted emotionally, because it is a constant struggle to feed these cats, to get vet care for these cats, to keep these cats safe, because these cats are not liked. In the communities, I know I live in York City, which is in York County, Pennsylvania, and our local SBCA is doing absolutely nothing to help the colony managers. It's insane. I posted a community. I put a community post up, where I actually quoted the director of the SBCA, where he's basically saying that, hey, cats live outside. Can't do nothing with them. You can't. They're not adoptable. That's so untrue. That is so untrue. And I have a crap load of cats that prove him wrong every day. You know, I have two that started as outdoor cats in the colony. I have been able to acclimate them to being indoors. One comes in and out, she's outside, right? Both of them are outside right now. But if it rains, at dinner time, they come in. They may not stay long depending on the weather, but there's been days where we've had either a snowstorm or some kind of severe weather event, or it's been brutally cold or extremely hot, and they'll stay in. They'll be in for a couple of days at a time. No problem. They don't fight with my other cats. They use the litter box appropriately. They don't tear up the furniture. They don't tear up, anything else. They're fine. They're not bothering anyone. They don't make messes. They act like any other house cat. And it bothers me that this man, and I get that there's a lot of issue with don't have enough fosters. It would take a long time, and it does take a long time to work with these cats. But I don't agree that they can't be socialized, and they can't become domestic cats. I can't believe that. I just can't, because I've seen it for myself. So we're dealing with that. We're dealing with ignorant people. And unfortunately, some of those people are actually in the animal welfare world. So when you're dealing with that kind of frustration, it's hard. And then the cost of it, the cost of trying to get these animals spayed and neutered, the cost of feeding them, the cost of vet care. If you can, and vet care, even if you can find a vet that will take them, because a lot of vets won't deal with the stray cats or community cats. They just won't. So we have that issue. We have, as I was saying, where I live, I'm on the east side of town, the west side of town, there's been poisonings. They've been poisoning the cats. They've been there's been incidents of poisoning. There's been incidents of shooting. There's been incidents of other abuse and harm. There's been a lot of things going on that were just not. It just breaks your heart. It just absolutely breaks your heart to know what's happening to these cats, and it's no fault of their own. You know, I mean, um, I have a lived experience of being homeless, and I never thought in a million years I'd be homeless. I mean, I'm college educated. I had, I mean, our family wasn't like the Waltons, but I mean, we, we were, we weren't completely dysfunctional. We were dysfunctional to an extent, but we weren't completely dysfunctional. I mean, my mom and dad stayed together and everything. I just, I didn't come from the kind of stereotypical background that you think of when you think of people that become homeless. I just never thought it was going to happen. And it did, it did. And I survived it. But I look at these cats and I think they didn't ask to be put on the street. They didn't, I mean, if they did go out on the street on their own, if they did leave their homes, it was probably because they weren't spayed or neutered and they were be driven by their hormones to get out, or they got lost, or something happened. um, but these cats just don't magically appear. They came from somewhere, and getting to the root of why are there these many cats out there, what's happening that's causing this problem, is important. And that's not really being looked into. Instead, what's happening is a lot of these SPCAs and humane societies and other rescues. A lot of it's stemming from Best Friends Animal Society, and I won't go into that right now. But they're a big issue. They are a real big reason why I believe we're seeing a huge jump in the population of community cats. I mean, and we have other organizations out there too that actually are for community cats, or supposed to be advocating for community cats. But the fact of the matter is, I think a lot of times they do a disservice because their spiel is, oh, it's they're happier outside. Leave them outside. Don't bring them in. Don't. And no, why are we doing this? Why are we? Can you imagine if we treat well? We don't treat people experiencing homeless very well either, so it's probably not a good example. But the one thing that's been weighing heavy on my mind is the fact that so many people that do this work, that because as I said, it's all being thrown onto the shoulders of people like myself, people that are poor, vulnerable, marginalized, people living in a more inner city or more poverty stricken area in the cities, or they're in a rural area that is not, a wealthy area. Um, it's not the wealthy areas that are experiencing this. It's it's more poverty stricken areas. It's also people that are, people that have mental health issues, people that are older, people that are disabled. Those are the kind of people that are getting this influx of cats. And they're the ones trying to deal with the problem. And a lot of them are not equipped to deal with it. A lot of them are just basically, we're going to feed the cat. We'll feed the cats. But they don't have the resources to spay and neuter. And when you have people that are talking about, I mean, there's always going to be the people that judge and like, well, you don't feed if you don't, if you if you feed, they'll breed. That's the saying, and that's true. The problem is that how do you get them to a spay neuter clinic if you are poor? How do you get them if you don't have a car? if you don't have a live trap. There's so many barriers to getting these cats fixed so that they don't multiply, so that they don't cause more problems, so that we can control the population. It's not as simple as people think. And it is such a huge, complex problem that, of course, the people that are bearing the brunt of the responsibility are just caving under the immense pressure. Um, I know, and this is one of the things that I want to say to people is that, it's, I have to do something with my hair, but nothing, we'll do that later. It's just really annoying me right now. Um, but, going back to the feelings that people have. I really want to. I've been wanting to do that. I mean, I was talking to Kim about this a couple of days ago, and I said I really want to come on. I really want to do a video about just the feelings that we have, and that it's okay. And that is why if you go on her uh, channel, Life with 18 Cats Unedited, and you look at the one video she put up where her cats knocked down her ice and caused a mess, and she was really upset. And she had called me, and I told her, videotape it. And she said, no, I'm not going to put that up. And I said, no, you need to. You need to go videotape it. You need to record it because you need to show people that's what your channel is about. Your channel is about life with 18 cats, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, yeah, they're going to do things that really tick you off. They are. That's just the way it goes. And I don't think, this is the point is to show that these cats, these cats can become, as much as we love them, it also can become a huge frustration and a huge burden. And I think it's important to show that. So it's important to show that as a cat owner, if you have, because Kim basically has a rescue in her home, it's important, I think, to show that, yeah, okay, see here, I have 18 cats and they cause me problems some days. And some days I'm not happy with them. And that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I get tired. Yeah, I get tired. I'm spending a lot of money every month on cats that I don't even own. And I have people that, people can say, well, then why do you take care of them? Then why do you do this? And why don't do it then if you don't like it? And it's like, no, that's not my point. And those people that have that opinion, you can have that opinion and you can judge me all you want. But at the end of the day, it's not this. I have a right to express my opinion and the way I feel. Everyone has a right to feel the way they are feeling. That shouldn't be taken away from anyone. And I'm not talking to those people who would say that back to me. I'm talking to the other people out there who manage colonies, who who trap, who transport back and forth to the spay neuter clinics, who do foster for rescues, or who try to do their little part to rehabilitate a cat. Um, I'm talking to them. I'm talking to them because I want you to know it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. I want to stay in bed. I don't want to have my sleep broken up because I have to feed around I have to feed around the schedule of people that will, if that, because I have one individual, it's kind of calmed down, but I had one individual that was coming and taking the food and dumping the food. And, I think this individual has something mentally wrong, but, it's, it's still an annoyance. It's like, okay, so now I have to readjust my schedule so that I can feed these cats so that they can actually eat, so that I'm not having food wasted by some ignorant person that is like, oh, there's a plate with some old food, I'm going to throw it out. No, don't throw it out, because it's fine. I just put it out. It's not old. It's okay. It just upsets me. But dealing with that, dealing if you're a renter like I am, dealing with landlords, that can be a hassle. Dealing with neighbors, that can be a hassle. Dealing with officials, that can be a hassle. It's just all these different people that it can be a real hassle dealing with this and taking care of these cats. And then you're sitting there and you're thinking, wow, I really would like to go out and or I would like to do XYZ. I would like to go to the movies with my friend this weekend. But guess what? I can't afford that. What is it, like $20 an hour, whatever, to go to the movie? I can't afford that, because that would buy how many cans of Friskies? I mean, I think like that. And I'm sure that other people that take care of cats are the same way. We look at something, we're in the store, we're looking at something, and we're thinking, oh, I would love to have that, but guess what? I can't, because um, that thing over there that costs $40, that would buy me, like, I don't know, 50 cans of Friskies. You know, I mean, it's literally like that. It's literally like that. That's how I think when I am working with these cats. And I just really want people to understand, and I don't want them to beat themselves up when they have those feelings of, boy, this is hard. And I'm doing everything on my own dime and my own time. And I don't, I I love the cats. I get rewarded in that way, but I also get crapped on by people that don't like the cats. They don't like me because I'm feeding them. They give me grief. They try to sabotage what I'm doing. They don't understand. I don't really want to take the time to educate them. But you know what? Sometimes I have to. And I have to be nice about it. And I don't want to be nice about it. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I guess probably I really should have done this at a better time when I had actually put notice out there that I was going to do it, and that people could actually come in and express their frustrations. But I just wanted to thank, I wanted to get on here and I wanted to thank all those people that are supporting the channel. I want to thank all those people that are subscribing, because it means so much. And I think one thing that YouTubers really don't understand, or they lose sight of, is the power that we hold here as content creators. What I'm saying right here, right now, even though I think there's one person maybe watching, and whoever you are, hi, thank you for listening to my rant. But, there's, I'm sitting here talking basically to myself right now, but I know there are people that are going to watch this video later, and they're going to resonate with what I'm saying, because I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, because I am involved in that community, and I've talked to people. I even started a trauma informed care group for people that do TNR, fostering, rescue, all of those things. And man, some of the stories that they tell, I mean, there were people on that Facebook, it was a private, I privated the group. Nobody could just come in. It all had to be approved. And there were people on there that every day they were coming, and they were trauma dumping. And that was perfectly fine. That's what that Facebook page was for. And that's what I wanted people to do. And it was fine. You want to come on, you want to trauma dump, go ahead. You trauma dump to your heart's content, because we can't hold this kind of stuff in, because it eats away at your soul. And I also, it really bothers me too when I see people that don't take care of themselves. You know, they, I understand you don't want the animal to starve. But the fact of the matter is that if you're not providing for yourself and you're not feeding yourself and you're not getting your rest and you're not getting your mental downtime, you're going to break down, and then you're not going to be able to take care of those cats at all. And then what's going to happen? I mean, who's going to step in? Nobody, probably, because I don't have anybody that would step in for me. You know, if I go down, the cats go down. And so I always have to keep telling myself that. So there'll be times when when like my cats are screaming for food and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, mommy needs a snack right now. I have to have something because I didn't eat all day or I ate very little. I need something right now, just, so that I can feed you. And then once, just let me have it, just let me grab something, let me grab something quick. And then as soon as I eat, I will feed you and then we'll get back on track. I have to do that sometimes, because otherwise I won't take care of myself. I'm not good at taking care of myself. I'm really not, because I've grown up, I think, like a lot of women in my generation, as caregivers. And we just took care of everybody. I mean, I don't have kids, but I took care of my parents. I helped to take care of my grandfather when my mother was taking care of my grandfather, so I watched that. I mean, but I always took care of everybody. I've always been that person. I'm the friend that everyone comes to when they need a shoulder to cry on or they need support. And I just got to a point in my life where I thought, okay, well, what about me though? What about when I need support? Who's there for me? And I started to reevaluate my friendships, and sometimes you have to do that. And I have to be honest, there's some people that I don't communicate. I didn't completely sever ties, but I just don't communicate with them like I used to, because basically I had to put up boundaries and say, I can't deal with your crap. I'm dealing with my own. It's not that I don't care about you, it's just that I can't deal with what you're dealing with right now because I'm trying to figure out my issue. Um, and I think that's important, to be able to put those boundaries up. And the way that we put boundaries up with our human friends, we need to put boundaries up with our cats and with the work that we do, because it's hard. It is damn hard to do this animal welfare work, especially when you're doing it without any compensation other, except, the love that you get from the cats, which, I don't know, we don't always get that either, because I don't know about any of you, but I mean, I've already had some cats where, um, I've offered them food and their thank you was whoosh, because they were scared. I didn't take it personally, but it was like, dude, I'm trying to help you out here. I'm giving you some food. And you're gonna hit me. You're gonna swat me. You're gonna scratch me. Okay, I guess that's fair. But it's just important to know that we're not the only people going through it. That there's a lot of people going through it. And I had I'm taking this trauma informed care course right now. I've done a lot of trauma informed care coursework, and because I'm a trauma impacted person living with PTSD, and the latest one I'm taking is like helping people process their pain, and we're talking about things like generational trauma, um, you know, um, how compassion, and we have two really cool facilitators. So the one facilitator is this black lady that really reminds me of Maya Angelou. She just has that demeanor. She has that kind of wise mother type of personality. She's very articulate. Um, I just really like her. She's just a really cool individual. And the other woman is a white woman, so they have this really, like, they're coming from two different cultures basically. I mean, and we've talked about this, and it's really a cool kind of dynamic for them to work together. But the woman that is the her name's Kathy. So Kathy was talking about the um, oh god, do I have my I don't have my I don't have it nearby. I'm trying to remember exactly what she called it. But she was talking about knitting, and she was talking about like the circles that we have in our lives. So like we have like that inner circle of friends. And that's probably going to be very small, like maybe one, two people, maybe three. But those are the people that you can go to, you can talk to uncensored, you can say anything and they won't judge you. I mean, they might have a comment, but they won't judge you for what you say. You can go, you can, you can trauma dump, you can verbal vomit, you can whatever you want to do with those people, and they will be there and they will listen. So we have those, and then you have, the circle expands. So then the next group is people that are, they're not, they're people that you can talk to, but there's some things that want to you don't want to trauma dump completely on those people. And then it just keeps getting wider and wider. You get the idea of what she was talking about. But what she was talking, what she the whole idea was, she was comparing the network of people that we have in our lives to knitting, crocheting, where you're making a chain. And as anyone that's ever crocheted or knitted knows that sometimes the the way the stitches intertwine, that sometimes they're looser, sometimes they're tighter. And she was just making that comparison. I thought that was a really cool comparison, because she said in the end, when you have the finished, like, blanket, scarf, whatever, it may not, you might have some stitches that are really tight, and you might have some stitches that are a little more loose, and it may not matter. You may look at the scarf and you may not even notice that. So she was, the whole idea was that we can be, we can have this group of people that sometimes they're going to be, we're going to have people that are going to be really close to us. We're going to have people that aren't so close to us. But in the grand scheme of things, it may not really matter. What matters is the way that we function in our lives. What matters is the way that we look at things, and the way that we look at that completed scarf or blanket. I mean, if we're going to look at it a little microscopically and pick it apart, that could be a problem for us. And I just thought that was a really cool analogy, and I liked what she said with that. And then kind of comparing that with what we're looking at with the cats, because yeah, you're going to have a lot of pushback for this. There's going to be a lot of it. There's going to be a lot of, you know, as I said earlier, we have your local government officials, you have higher government officials, um, you have certain animal welfare groups that aren't really amendable to cats, to community cats. You're going to have neighbors. You're going to have all these different landlords. You're going to have all these different people that may not really be keen on what you do with these cats. There's going to be rescues that aren't going to be keen on it. Veterinarians that aren't going to be keen on it. They're not going to welcome you. They're not going to. I mean, I know there's quite a few veterinarians, because believe me, I've called looking for help. I had a specific cat I was looking for help. No one wanted to look at him. As soon as I said he was a community cat, it's like, nope. I said, well, there's nothing. He's not aggressive or anything. Nope. We don't do that. We don't. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know what your problem is, but okay. So I had to find another way to take care of him. And that was stressful. I mean, I did in the end. He's one of the ones that come in and hang out in my apartment, when the weather's bad, or when he wants to, wants a little, I think that he just wants to feel safe and decompress. So I think, it's just important for people to know that you're not alone, and it's okay to have these feelings, and it's okay to be frustrated, and it's okay to um, be upset, and it's okay to get angry, and it's okay, you know, just give yourself that permission and grace to feel those things. You get up in the morning, you go, crap, I don't want to do this anymore. That's okay. It's okay. Trust me, it is. It's okay. Because I guarantee you there's other people that feel the same way. And I think that's kind of why, that's why I wanted to come on this live looking like this, because I just got up. I mean, I was up at like 3 o'clock because my cat was whacking at me at like 2 o'clock, 2:30, and I managed to stay in bed until 3, until I finally had to. I couldn't. He kept at me. Um, so I haven't really done anything yet. I haven't really done anything with my hair. I haven't put on. I have my old T-shirt on that I went out and fed the cats in. I've just saw I saw the 100 subscribers, and I wanted to come on here, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and how much that means to me, because it does. It's like, it means the world that there's people out there that are looking at this content and enjoying it. There's people that are getting some information, and I hope to bring more information. That's really what this channel is about. This channel is about combining animal welfare and human services. It's about showing that link between what's happening, with these, not just with these cats, with other animals that are abused. And there's a lot of it out there. We know this. There's a lot of abuse out there. There's more abuse than we want to know. And unfortunately, a lot of it occurs on YouTube. I see it all the time. It's rather obscure. It's rather covert. It's not blatant, but it's still abuse. If your animal is, if you have an animal and you're forcing your animal to do something for content, I'm sorry, that's abuse. They can't consent, just like kids can't consent. So if you're forcing them to do something that they're not wanting to do for content, then that's abusive. I mean, it may not be the same kind of it may not rise to the same kind of level of abuse as, hitting them or shooting them or poisoning them, like we're seeing with the community cats. But it is a form of abuse, because you're making them do something they don't want to do. That's why I did the video of me cleaning a cat tree and talking about Niffler, because Niffler didn't want to sit still. He wouldn't sit still for half an hour while I tell his story. And yeah, I probably could have done some cool little video thing where I spliced everything together and did this, but you know what? I'm not up to that level yet. I don't know all that stuff yet. I'm still learning. You have to understand, my background is, as far as social media is concerned, I did a community TV show called Knowledge is Power. So it was like Wayne's World. I don't know if those of you that are old enough that remember Wayne's World from SNL. But that's what I did. It was community TV. It was in this little studio. I had a 15-year-old kid that was running the equipment. And a lot of times he was running his equipment, and he was, he's playing on his phone and running the equipment, so he wasn't always paying attention. So it was kind of, it was interesting what we produced from week to week. But the thing was that, what I did was I brought people in from all different walks of life. We did everything from, we had the original idea of it was to have Got the zoomies going. The original idea of it was to have people that were directors of nonprofits, um, community leaders, folks like that, folks that are doing really good things, but they're not really getting any recognition for it. They might get, in the case of the mental health director, um, you know, she might get asked to give a statement if there was some kind of a school shooting or something like that. But for the most part, nobody really cared. The mainstream media didn't really care. So I have one that's really zooming this morning. I don't know what's going on. She's usually not that frisky. But anyway, that's what I did. And so I got people from all walks of life. We did everything from, we talked about SA, we talked about racism, we talked about white privilege, we talked about diversity, we talked about voting, voters' rights. We talked about the environment. We talked about hunting. We did a show on hunting one time. We talked about hunting. What exactly, why some people hunt. What's that about? We talked about that, as there was legislation coming up, and we were talking about. We had somebody on that that came and talked about that. Um, I think one of my favorite shows that we did is, I have a friend who, he's gay, and as a college age young man, he was sent into conversion therapy by his stepdad. That was a powerful show. That was really powerful. I mean, he sat there and he talked about what happened to him. And the cool thing was that while we were going live, like I am right now, and we've streamed it to Facebook so people could chat, and his mom was chatting with him. And his mom was in the chat saying, "I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry. I should have done better." I mean, he's starting to cry. I mean, I imagine she was crying on her end, although I couldn't see her. I'm sitting there, I'm starting to tear up. It was powerful. And the thing is that this wasn't some high budget show. It wasn't. It was like this. It was just me sitting. I mean, it was this little dinky studio, this community access place that, hi, Ruby Dawn. It was a community access. It was community access in a Comcast studio, basically. And it wasn't high tech at all because it was free. It was a free for the community. The way I got into it is I had to go, and I actually interviewed with the station manager, told him what I wanted to do. And, at the end of the interview, he's like, "Well, when do you want to start?" I'm like, "What? Oh, wow. Really?" I wasn't even prepared for that. I didn't think it'd be that easy. And so every Thursday night, that's what I would do. I would sit and I would talk to people, and I gave them a seat, and gave them a safe space, and I let them talk. And it's amazing what you can hear when you listen, when you let somebody talk and you actively listen and you don't interrupt and you don't judge. It's amazing the kind of dialogue that can happen and the kind of learning that can happen. And that's what I want for this channel, because I want people to feel safe. And I hope you feel safe with me, because this is basically, right here, what you see it stripped down, this is me. No makeup. I'm 57 years old. I've got, my hair needs colored. I haven't showered yet this morning. I haven't, eaten yet really this morning. I just got up 3 o'clock this morning, went out, fed cats, went to do a couple of videos, saw that I had 100 subscribers, and here I am. And I thought about, maybe I should, fix myself up. And then I thought, you know what? No, because that's not real. This is real. This is who I am. This is my authentic self. And if people can't handle my authentic self, then, maybe this channel isn't for you. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that to be snotty. I'm not. I'm just saying that if you're looking for a lot of glam and, all kinds of special effects and things like that, you're not going to get it here, But what you are going to get is you're going to get authenticity. You're going to get reality. You're going to get truth. As far as I can know that it's truth. I mean, I will fact check, things to death just to make sure that everybody is getting, the right information. But I want to be able to talk to people. I want people to be able to talk. I want to be able to have people come into the chat and just dump all the stuff that's going on. Because Ruby Dawn, this is hard. And, Ruby Dawn knows she's taking care of. Bless her, she has like 40 cats she's taking care of, and she knows. She goes through everything that the rest of us are going through. And so that's what I really want to have happen. I want to see that. I want to build a community where people can support each other. So it's going to be a little bit different than just. I mean, I love doing the short little cat videos and the inspirational things. I love to do that. I love to, I love giving people a pat on the back. I love telling people. I had to let my. Aw, I'm sorry, Ruby Dawn. Aw. How many do you have in your colony right now? And see I mean, this is what Ruby Dawn is saying is she said, I had to let my oldest colony cat go yesterday. I had to call Kim from Life with 18 Cats. I had to call Kim my emergency lifeline. And that's, and where does someone like Ruby Dawn, if, like we were saying earlier, Kim is in Ruby Dawn's inner circle. That's the person she goes to. That's okay. Um, that's one of the people that she relies on to talk to when she can say things to Kim that she may not feel comfortable saying to other people. And those are the kind of people that you need in your life when you're doing this kind of work, because it's hard. It's really, really hard. And my heart goes out to you, Ruby. It really does. Because nobody cares. I mean, other than like us, people that other colony managers, other people that know how special these cats are. Um, but you tell the average person, I had to let my cat go, and it's probably at first it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, but then when they find out that it is a colony cat, it's a cat that lives outside. What? Okay. People don't get it. A lot of people don't get it. Anywhere from 18 to 25 outside and 21 inside at the moment. Okay, so the number's gone up a little bit, maybe. Yeah, and see the outdoor cats. I mean, that's they pass. Um, the worst thing for me is when I don't know what happened to them. I mean, I had an orange one. I called him creamsicle. So he was orange on the outside and white, white belly, white chest, white belly. And I called him Creamy. His nickname was Creamy. And Creamy was a nice cat, really nice cat. And he was getting beat up out there. And I really was trying to find someone that would take him, a rescue that would take him. And then he disappeared. And he hasn't been back. And it's been a while now. And I've kind of learned that I I don't, it's hard for me to, and it's hard for me to process when they leave, when they disappear like that, because I don't know. I don't, I mean, I've had cats that have disappeared for a month or more, and then suddenly they're back. I have one that he went through a TNR program because he has a clipped ear. Um, for a while, he was coming around. He had a collar on, so someone had him, and then he didn't have the collar on, and then he'd come around and at different times he'd look. Sometimes he would be losing fur. Other times he looked pretty good. So I really don't know what the situation is. I don't know if like someone tried to take him in, but he kept leaving. He kept maybe trying to get out because he was used to being outside, and they couldn't really make him a indoor cat. Yeah. So Ruby Dawn says I was in the ER the night before with near miss heart attack. Then put him down in the afternoon yesterday. He was 8 years old at least. I have wanderers too. They come and go. Yeah, and that's the thing that you can't. Some of them you can save, like Valentino. So those of you who have never been part of one of these streams, if you want to go and look at that, the story of Valentino. Valentino was a stray that showed up, and I really think that he was a cat that had come like a year before. I didn't have really. I have pictures, but just the pictures. I mean, the cat looks the same. They also had similar behaviors, but I can't be 100% sure. But I'm kind of like really thinking that that was the same cat, and that at least I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping that maybe that's why he came back because he was in pain and he came back and he knew he'd get help. Because they're smart. They do. They're really cats are incredibly smart animals. I never realized how smart they are until I started working with them. I spent my whole, you know, the majority of my life I've been a dog. I was a dog owner. I had dogs. Um, it wasn't until like 2020 that I really started to get involved with cats. Like I had one or two cats as a kid, but I didn't really have any as a grown up until 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020 with everything being shut down because of a certain illness that was circulating, um, and that's when I started doing like kind of the helping out with the TNR and rescue. I really don't like to say I do TNR or I do rescue because I really don't. Um, that's not like I'm not an official rescue and I don't officially do TNR. I just kind of help out and I do what I can. I mean, I'm definitely a colony manager. Um, so my biggest fears are severe weather and what happens to them if I pass or can't do this anymore. A dog person first. I inherited the cat lady life. Yeah. Well, Ruby Dawn, we were talking, or I was talking earlier um, about those things and about the fact that yeah, what if we do, who does there's no one. That's why it's so important to take care of us, to make sure we are getting what we need to be healthy physically and mentally, because if something would happen to us, who would pick up the slack? I don't have anybody. I don't know who would. I mean, I know I don't worry too much about my indoor crew because I know enough people in the rescue community that I'm sure that someone would, I mean, and I have friends too that are cat lovers. They would not let anything, they would, at the very least, get them to a good rescue if they didn't take them in themselves. But the outdoor ones, I don't know what would happen to them. I don't. And that's, what I was saying earlier, Ruby Dawn, is because I don't know if you're aware or not, but we're now at 100 subscribers. It's not anywhere close to allowing the channel to be monetized yet, but it still means a lot to me because it means that people, you know, it means that people are watching. It means that people like the content, and it means that people are, because they like it, they're hitting that subscribe button. Because if they didn't like the content, they look, oh, what's this? And scroll on by. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels out there that you could go to. If you don't, if you clicked on this video and you saw this crazy person with this crazy hair, which I have no idea what's going on. I'm about ready to do something with it here. Actually, my bangs need cut. In an old t-shirt, no makeup, just, yeah, here's the crazy cat lady for you. You come on this stream and you see this and you're like, what the is that? You can just no thank you and go on. But people actually are going, hey, you know what? I kind of like this. I kind of like what's going on here. I like the content. I like the information. Crazy cat lady isn't so bad. No, let's hit the subscribe button. That's cool. I love it. And I'm going to tell you right now that I never want to be one of those people that just take it for granted. I never want to be that. So I'm going to try extra hard to always check myself to make sure I'm not that person, because I don't want to ever be that person. I don't want to be that person that is at the point where, now if I ever get to the point where I have, like, I don't know, 100,000 subscribers, it might be impossible for me to look through all the comments, but I'm going to try. I will try, because that's what I do right now. I look through every single one of these comments, because I don't trust Mr. YouTube. Mr. YouTube is weird, because sometimes I don't get notifications for channels that I'm subscribed to. I know people don't get notifications for this channel. This was just an impromptu thing. I would have put it up on the community tab, but I just wasn't, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about what's happening, what's next. But I get the notifications, and I don't get comment. I don't, see everybody's comment when I get the notifications. I just get like certain like highlighted comment. Like, what the heck is a highlighted comment? Everyone's comment is important as far as I'm concerned. Everybody is. Yes. So Ruby Dawn says, I think it's incredibly valuable to have others to learn from and to share with. This content can be life-saving. Thank you, Ruby Dawn, for saying that, because I'm going to say this again. I've said this a couple times during this stream, and I'm going to say it again. Content creators need to understand, first and foremost, that when you're sitting here and you're looking in your stream, like I am right now, I'm looking here, and I don't know who's watching. I mean, I see like maybe 2 people are watching. That's fine. But forever who's going to be watching later, you need to understand that when you're a content creator, or you're in any kind of position where eyes are on you, it's important to have your mind right, and to say, and to be mindful of what you're communicating to people, because I can guarantee you that there's going to be people out there. You'll never know. You'll probably never meet them. You'll probably never hear from them. But there's going to be people that take what you say to heart, and it's going to influence how they do something. It's going to influence, you could literally be saving lives. Like Ruby Dawn said, you could literally be saving lives, because if you're sitting there, and this is what I'm acknowledging right now, is that in the kind of work that Ruby Dawn does, that I do, that others do, this animal welfare space that isn't really well respected, in my opinion. I don't know what you think, Ruby Dawn, but I don't think it's well respected. But this animal welfare space that really even isn't considered animal welfare by the animal welfare people, we're doing this work. I know people going out and trapping. They trap at night. They're going in, they're breaking into, I hate to say it like that, but they are, because I've done it myself. They're breaking into buildings that they're hoping are abandoned, or they're going onto properties that they're hoping no one's living there. because they're trying to save a cat. And, you know, you're out there at night, and one of the tricks that they have, what people have with live traps, is when you set the trap, because you set the, so you open up the back flap, and then the cat goes into the trap. When it gets to the food, it triggers the little platform, and then the back door goes shut. Well, an alternative to that is, if you want like a specific cat, you can actually prop it up with like a water bottle with a string. Like, I mean, literally, like one of these water bottles, wrap a string around it, have like, so this would be the lid of the trap. You put the trap lid up on top of it. So when the cat that you want goes into the trap, you pull away the bottle, door goes down. Now, the thing with that is, first of all, you have to have a really long string, because you have to be far away from the cat. Otherwise, the ones that are more unsocialized. I'm not even using the word feral anymore. Sorry, not doing it, because I don't think a lot of these cats are feral. I think they're socialized and unsocialized. So if you have an unsocialized cat that isn't really good with people, or is scared of people, you have to be far enough away that they'll actually go into the trap. And when they do, then you just pull it so that you get the right one. Because I know, when the little bit of trapping that I did, I have one. Her name's Wuss Puss. She's one of the original colony members, and she would always go into the trap to get, because she liked the tuna or whatever I had in there. So she would always be going in the trap. I think I trapped her like 3 times unintentionally that first night, and then I realized, you know what? I'm gonna have to try to do the bottle trick. I did the bottle trick. I got the cat that I wanted like first time out. So it does work, but you know, there's this is what we do. This is what we do. I mean, we are the original crazy cat people, you know, you because we're out there, we're crawling under cars, I mean, we're doing all kinds of stuff to try to save these cats, and people don't really understand that. It's kind of like people that skydive. Like, most of us are like, well, you want to jump out of a plane? Yeah, why? Because it's fun? Really? Oh, okay. Okay, that's okay. Well, you know, good luck with that. You know, that's my response to someone that wants to skydive. And and that's kind of the response that we get as people that are doing this TNR colony management stuff, because people don't understand it. Like, oh, how many cats do you have? Well, I have, let me see. I have, I have, 20 in the house, and I have, 5 out on the balcony, and I have another 20 out in the, it's like, what? Because here, I mean, now I don't have 20 in my apartment. I'm just joking around. But when people ask you, oh, got a raccoon. Yeah, because people don't understand that. People just don't get it, because we're weird to them. Like, why are you spending all your time with these cats? Why are you spending all your money on these cats? Why? I don't know. I don't. I really don't. Like, if somebody would ask me why, I mean, I can. My response is that, because I, I just like them. I like them. I like the cats. I relate better to the cats than I do most people. Um, I don't. I relate on several levels, because I recognize signs of trauma in them. Just like, I have trauma. I recognize that in them. I think, well, cats can have PTSD. I will let you know that. And there is research on that. I haven't really looked into it, but I know there's research on it, and I know this because I took part in a conference, like back in 2023, and one of the presenters was a woman from an I think Humane Society in Canada, and they actually have, you can go into their website, And they have free trainings of trauma informed care for animal welfare people, which I would, I should do that at some point. Um, but she was talking about cats having have actually being shown to have PTSD. I imagine dogs can have PTSD too. I don't know why they would be able to have PTSD too. Um, I agree. I agree, Ruby Dawn. So she says, I know why for me anyway. I understand how it feels to not have anyone give a crap about you. And I don't want them for I stupid little heart emoji things over it. Um, I don't want them for them because I'm just saying you. I'm just going to say that I know what you're saying, Ruby Dawn. I can't read your sentence because again, Mr. YouTube and their well thought out design, they have that little heart thing that you can hit, and hearts and whatever fly up in the air or fly up through the chat. Um, they have that little icon thing there, so it always blocks the last comment, or at least part of the last comment. But yeah, I mean, it is it it is important because you have people that that they when you're and it's isolating. It's isolating too. I mean, even though I don't mind being isolated some days, but it is isolating as far as what you're going through. Um, the struggle of it, and and you're spending your own money and your own time, and you're fighting all these other people that really don't like what you're doing and are trying to sabotage what you're doing. It's hard. But, again, going back to as a content creator, yeah, what you say and what you do makes a huge difference in people's lives. I mean, even if you're not setting out to be an influencer, you're going to influence people. You just can't help it. It's just the way it works. Because people, if they I know I'm that way. I mean, if I meet somebody and I really like what they're doing, I'm gonna like look and see what they're doing, and if it looks like they're doing well and things are working out for them, I'm going to copy some of what they're doing. Or if they say something that resonates with me, I'm going to take it to heart. So I think that's important. It's important to set that tone. It's important to let people know that, okay, you don't if you're having issues, that's okay to have issues, because like Ruby Dawn said, it could be the difference between life and death, because we don't know how many people are out there, how many people are actually contemplating self exiting. I mean, I've done that. One of the reasons I'm still here is because of these animals. Because I had dogs. Those were the ones. But I mean, even now, I deal with mental health issues. I deal with intrusive thoughts sometimes, and I have these guys that help stabilize me. I mean, they're not like it. There's other factors that help, other supports that I have, but that's important. They're important. And like we're saying in here, that's why it's important. And this is why, we have these kind of conversations, it's going to be a little stricter than, say, just a fun little, like Kim has her live chats and just does her her gaming nights and things like that, where people can just come in and say whatever they want to say, and kind of like, I mean, within reason. Um, but if we're having like these kind of trauma talks, which I'm thinking about calling them, like TNR trauma talk or something like that, um, just so that people can come in and know that they're not alone, and that they can have other people to feel to talk to. So Ruby Dawn, you want to. I'm trying to figure out a time to do that, and maybe it'll just be it'll maybe just be different times. I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about doing like one at night, like after Kim's done with her streams, like around 8 o'clock, because she would like to be part of it, and then maybe do early morning stream as well, like I did today. Because if I do something around 6 o'clock in the morning, I know there are people across the pond in like the UK and Germany and the European countries that could then participate as well, because I'd like to be able to have people participate. So I think really early morning and later at night are probably best for people that are doing this kind of thing. I know that's what works best for me, because usually the feeding and everything takes place early in the morning, and then people have like a little bit of downtime until they start in the day. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. And see, I'm thinking too, like if I do it, because I started this stream early this morning, like, okay, so we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. So I started about 7 o'clock or so. Um, and at that time, I think it's roughly lunch now in the European countries. I think in the UK, because Mark, who's commented already, he's said that he's commented on the good morning video, on the good morning videos that I've done, and he said, "Well, good morning," even though for him it's like lunchtime. So I think that would work if I did it like around 6 o'clock or so. That way people could maybe catch them. Because I don't know, like even like workday. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because see, Kim wants to be a part of it, so thinking like she wants to co-facilitate basically. So I was thinking that would be good too, because if she does her streams at 6, because she usually does her streams at 6, she gets done at 7, a little after 7. That would give people like an hour break that they could grab a snack, go to the bathroom, do whatever they need to do, and then come back at 8 if they chose. I think that would work well. Yeah, I think that would work. I think that would work well. Because I'd like to do it on a regular. I would like to do it on a regular schedule, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it on a regular schedule. But if Kim is, if Kim would be willing. I mean, if there was some night or something that I couldn't do it, maybe if we didn't want to change it, like if folks like that, um, I don't know. What days, Ruby Dawn, do you think? You think weekends would be better? Weeknights? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do people even go out anymore on the weekend with everything being so expensive? 'Cause I know, like, movies and stuff are insane right now. I don't know if people are going out like they used to. I know, like, Friday, Saturday nights used to be a big deal. I think it still is, like, to stop off after work to go to the store or whatever before you go home. But okay, so probably weeknights. Plan to keep an open conversation or have some loose structure. Well, it would be at least one of those would be focused on almost on the issues that people are having that are doing this kind of animal welfare work. So it would be kind of like a support group. I'll put it that way. Um, kind of envisioning it sort of as a support group that we would sit and talk about those kind of things. Talk about like if somebody has a loss, like you just had a loss, we could talk about that. If someone had, if someone's having a problem with a neighbor, like I have a problem with, the midnight lady coming by and taking my cat food. Maybe somebody had a similar situation and could give some advice. I mean, that kind of thing. That's the one kind of live that I want to do, but also would like to do more topic focused lives that are more like I would like to have. I'm really looking to get guests. I would like to have more. I want to have guests, and I do know some people in animal welfare that would probably be willing to come on, and people in human services that be willing to come on, because I don't think we should just talk about animal welfare. I really don't, because there's that intersection there. It's integrated. We want to integrate things. If we want to change things, if we want to, because like the ultimate goal is to make life better for people and their pets, and their companion animals. It's not just about, because there's generally always a human connected to that animal. And I think we need to support those pets by supporting the people. So I want to make sure the people are getting what they need too. So if they need something, if they're coming in here and they're, dealing with crap that maybe we can help them with, because it's not just, like access to vet care. You shouldn't have to, I'm sorry, no one should have to surrender their animal because they can't afford $1,000 vet bill. It just should not happen. There should be a whole paradigm shift, in my opinion, of the way animal welfare, like the SPCAs and humane societies and other rescues run things. Because you shouldn't have to, it doesn't make sense to me. So someone that can't afford vet care, you sign your pet over. So now the vet clinic or the humane society or whatever takes your companion animal. Okay, so now you've traumatized the human and the animal. You take the animal, you rehab the animal, hopefully the animal survives and everything, and then you put the animal up for adoption. Or else the animal just languishes in a cage for how many months. Whereas if you use that funding, because you have funding, how are these SPCAs, humane societies, and all these other organizations, how are they getting the money to vet that animal that was just surrendered to them? Right? There's funding there to vet the animal. So why not just vet the animal and give the animal back to the human and help support the human? And so you don't have that. Maybe this is why, see, everything's ass backwards in this country, as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm going to get on my soapbox. Now I'm getting ramped up now. You're going to have, maybe I should just change this to Wanda's rant and just do one of these every couple days. Because why do we have this? Why do we have this kind of system that punishes people because they're living in poverty? And I'm so tired of this BS that we hear from these politicians and these other people, like, well, you know what, it's poverty, all you have to do is go get a job. No, I'm sorry. There's something called the working poor. I know people that work 2-3 jobs. I'm sorry. They're not lazy. They're working their little butts off. They're doing the best they can. They're still not making it. Why? Because it's like, what, $5 for a freaking carton of eggs? Or, I mean, it's crazy. Food prices are insane. You have to buy food to live. I mean, it's just, it is. It's all intertwined. All of it's intertwined. And this is why we need to address both sides of the coin. We need to address the human services side, and we need to address the animal welfare side, because we want what's best. If we want what's best for the animal, we have to support the person. And we're talking about people like Ruby Dawn. We're talking about people like myself. We're talking about people like Kim. We're talking about people like, people that are in our chat all the time. People are out there making decisions with no good outcomes for them. People are out here making choices with no good outcomes for them. Yeah. And you have people that, and why are people, so we can go into that from a couple different angles, because number one, I will give you a good example. Okay. So I live in York City, York County, Pennsylvania. Our SPCA, York County SPCA, they have a policy where, it's absolutely insane. They have a policy where it's like $80 or something to surrender. So say I had a dog, say I was being evicted. I couldn't take the dog with me. Nobody could take the dog. I did have to surrender dogs because I was evicted. So it does happen. Sometimes there's no choice. So I'm taking the dog to the SPCA. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it a third time. I'm trying to do the right thing. Do I want to surrender my dog? Hell no. But what's the alternative? The alternative is I'm on the street. There's no other place for me to go. Say I don't have a car. Just say I don't have a car. I do have a car, but say I don't. Say I don't have a car. There's no really friends, relatives that would take me in, but they'll let me go into the shelter. The choice is I'm going to live on the street. Okay, so I know people do this. I know people will not relinquish their pet no matter what. They'll live on the street with their pet. My problem with that is I'm a woman. I'm 57 years old. I have physical and mental health issues. I'm not going to do well on the street. If I'm not going to do well on the street, and I'm not going to be able to really take care of myself very well on the street, and let's not even go into the things that can happen to you when you're living on the street, because there's very nasty things that can happen to you, because there are very nasty people in the world that will do nasty things to you if you're living on the street. So let's not even go into that part of it. If I can't even take care of myself, I'm not going to do that to my dog. I'm not. I'm just not. I would do everything in my power to keep my dog. I did everything in my power to keep my dogs that I had to surrender. So this is not my first rodeo on this topic. But if it came down to it, where my only option was you have no choice but to surrender your dog or live on the street with your dog, I'm not living on the street with my dog. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not going to force my dog to live on the street because, that's just me. That's just my opinion. The way I feel about it. I would want my dog to at least have a chance. Whereas I don't know what's going to happen to me, but I want my dog to be safe. And I feel that if my dog's in the SPCA, my dog will be safe. So I go to SPCA. Well, SPCA, they want vet records. I forget all the documentation you have to have about your dog. It's on their website. I'll have to look it up. That's a video for another day. I'll have to look it up and actually read through it. But they have a litany list of all the crap that you have to have, all kinds of stuff you have to have to surrender this dog. And then on top of all that, you have to pay $80. Okay, so I'm being evicted. Obviously, I can't pay my rent for whatever reason. How do you think I'm going to get $80 together to pay for the dog? So there was a situation where someone came up to went to the local SPCA, and they tied a pit bull pup to one of the posts outside of the railing or something outside of the SPCA. They got it on camera. They got the person on camera. The whole incident they got on camera. The humane officer, he came out. He said he wasn't going to prosecute because it was an act of desperation. That's what he said. And I'm like, okay. Let's see. And I don't know if it was an act of desperation or not. I don't know. I've just heard from one of my rescue friends that this had happened. I didn't see it. It was in the news apparently. I didn't look it up. I have several thoughts on that. Um, you know, um, there's a big part of me that says that person should be prosecuted. There is, but there's also a part of me that understands that it's that if that person was indeed desperate, then the SPCA should be holding themselves accountable and rethinking their policy, which they're not doing. So why are they not being bashed for it? They should be getting backlash for that decision. Um, where were they? This is why veterinary social work is so important, and I really, really want to get a veterinary social worker on here and do an interview with them, because they really do merge animal welfare and human services together. But this is the kind of thing that we're talking about. We're talking about they're making these policies that harm people. And the people that they harm, again, it's not the wealthy people that are being harmed. It's the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized people that are being harmed. It's not wealthy people. It's the little people. It's the little guy, the little gal, the little they them people. For those of you for the non-binary folks out there. It's all of us. It's all of us that are not in that, like, 1% in that upper echelon. We're the ones that get nailed by these policies. And there are people that aren't making good choices, like Ruby Dawn says. And there are agencies that make choices that aren't good. And then you have people like Kim Stream, and Kim actually did a really good, she did a like basically like a little clip. This was of something that she talked about in one of her last lives that she did. It was her live on. She did a deep dive into ragdolls, and how ragdolls were created, so to speak. And Ruby Dawn told her story of someone that is a breeder, um, not responsible. Although I have very strong feelings about breeding and why we really don't need it. There's just a few circumstances where I would say breeding an animal is okay. Just a few, very, very few. In general, I'm completely against breeding. I am completely against it, because I see the reality of how many animals are out there. And I'll tell you something. If you want a purebred cat, you can get a purebred cat through a rescue. And there's also, I know a founder of a rescue. She actually works with she has some kind of connection with a rescue in Egypt. And apparently there's a lot of purebred cats running around on the streets in Egypt. So, if you really want that, if you really have your heart set on a certain breed, and I can understand that. I can. As a kid, we see movies like Finding Nemo, and everybody wanted the aquarium with the clownfish, and I can understand that. I think you need to do your research and actually understand the reality of the animal that you're looking into getting. But ragdoll cats. I love ragdoll cats. I think they're beautiful. I would never go out and buy one because I would not support a breeder. But I'll tell you, if someone said, "Hey, I have a rag doll. Would you like the rag doll?" I would be like Kim was with her with the Sphinx. I'd be like, let me see how I can juggle this because I have my Fury monster that he's pretty much a rag doll with green eyes. Um, I think he has some rag doll in him. He acts like a rag doll. So I call him like he's like my Timu rag doll. But there are people, like these decisions that we're talking about. Like somebody that's breeding indiscriminately or not breeding responsibly, and then their cat's getting out and going into Ruby Dawn's colony. I have a neighbor, okay? This drives me bonkers. I have a neighbor. So let me just tell you this story because this is a good one. So last year, actually, let me see if I might be able to show you a picture here. Um, Last year, this little cat started coming up to the balcony and eating, and a little a little cat, and I wasn't able to see at first if it was male or female. Eventually, I found out that it was female, and I called this little cat Nika. And Nika would come every night and eat at my feeding station. No, I thought Nika was just a stray. I thought Nika was just another community cat coming and you know doing what the community cats do, coming over and I'm thinking, well, there's another one. I'm going to have to try to figure out how I'm going to get that one. I didn't figure out how to get the other one spayed and neutered yet because the people that helped me with TNR back in 2020, there was two women. They started a nonprofit. So the one woman, she ended up getting pregnant, and she had gone through a lot of issues with infertility, and she finally got pregnant. And so she had a baby, and then the other one, I'm not sure. I guess it was a lot for her. So they really scaled back on what they were doing. So when I went to get help from them, it was like, okay, I guess they're not an option anymore because now they're not even really doing much. And then the other one, here we go. Is this it? Wait, I'm trying to find the picture here. Um, the other one, they find it. So the first, those they were helping me. So that option kind of went out there. And then the other issue is we have, like, Kim has a spay neuter assistance program, SNAP. I know SNAP is food stamps. Everyone knows SNAP is food stamps. I don't know why they named that program SNAP because everybody's thinking food stamps. Whenever I say SNAP, they're like, food stamps? What? I didn't know you could spay and neuter your animal with food stamps. No, it's a different program. So we have the spay neuter assistance program in Pennsylvania, and they here it is. Okay, so I have it here. They would, like, when I got mine done, they paid for all of it because they give out vouchers. Well, now the problem is that because the economy is so bad, we have inflation, people aren't donating like they used to. It's getting really difficult for them to survive, just like a lot of other nonprofits. So they've really, really scaled back on who they help and who they don't. And I'm being told that, I can try, but it's probably not going to be likely that I'm going to get any help at this point because I think they're only like really helping rescues or something. So um, I found the picture here. So anyway, so I was trying to see if I could find a picture of her. But anyway, this little cat came and she hung around for a while. And then one day she came to the feeding station and she had this little guy. she had this little guy with her. And there he is with my cat, Rogue. And there he is again. See a better picture of him there. She just had one. And I thought, okay, well, that explains why you were coming up on the balcony eating, because you gave birth, you were hungry. So, I was able to get the kitten, handle the kitten. The kitten was very thin, looked like it had some other issues going on. Again, comes back to, okay, well, I don't have the knowledge. The vets, because it looked like it had some issues that probably a vet should have been looking at. So before I could get a rescue to take this cat in, and I kind of wish that I had just taken him or her and just kept him in because I have that crate. That I had Valentino in. That's a perfect kitten. It's perfect size for kittens. I should have just done that, but then we had a really bad rainstorm, and then I didn't see this kitten anymore. So I figured something, I don't know, something happened to the kitten. Let's just hope someone took the kitten in, and let's just hope somebody took the kitten in and adopted the kitten. So then I saw Nika off and on, and then she disappeared. And last October, they redid our steps, our like fire escape steps. If you see the videos that I have up of Fury going for a walk, those really steep steps, those are like our fire steps. So they redid those like last year. And when they redid them, we had to walk around for like a day or two. We couldn't, when we parked our cars out there, we had to actually walk around to the front of the building instead of just going up those stairs to access the back of our apartments. And as I walked around one night to come back to my apartment, I saw Nika laying on the doorstep of my neighbor. And I saw that and I thought, I know they said they have a cat. Is that their cat? I mean, do they let their cat out like that? Like, just run around like that? So, last month, I went down to the food pantry because, I use a food pantry. I mean, a lot of people do, and and I want people to know I use a food pantry. So if you use a food pantry, you go. You do what you need to do to survive, because that's what has to happen in today's world. So I came back. I was coming back around. I walked down because it's like 2 blocks down. I'm not going to mess around driving my car down because I have to actually. It's easier to walk down actually because I'd have to like go around one-way streets to. It's stupid. So anyway, came back, walked around the front, juggling my keys to get into the front of our building, and I hear, excuse me, and I'm just like ignoring it because that's what you do in the city. You really don't pay attention. And it's, excuse me, have you seen my cat? And I looked over. I'm like, you talking to me? Yeah, you. Have you seen my cat? And I'm like, your cat? No, I don't know. I don't know. Have I seen your cat? What does your cat look like? So she's telling me that she has this cat. She had a cat that her husband opened the door, and the cat ran out. So this was a male cat that's been the cat's been neutered and everything. And she said, well, she has another cat. I said, what cat was it? What would your other cat look like? She says, oh, it's this little one, and it's got all these colors on it. And I'm like, okay, that really doesn't tell me anything. So as she's talking, I'm like, wait a minute. Is she like she's always in my driveway. I said, oh, okay. I think I know what cat you're talking. Is she like black? Because there was a gray and white one that was in their driveway a lot. She says, no, not that one. No, she's like different colors. So a couple of days after that, I saw her out and I said, did you find your cat yet? I said, I've been looking. I haven't seen him. When I feed, I keep an eye to see if I see a cat that looks like it was a black cat. And I just need to see if I see any new black cats. And she said, no. And she said, there's this little, and Nico was over there. And I said, is that your cat? I said, that's your cat? She said, oh, yeah, this is Pepper. I'm like, Pepper? Okay. I call her Nika. I thought she was a stray. She said, oh, no, she lives over here. She said, well, see, we got her. See, one day, what? Whenever they start with one day, whenever they start with one day, you got a whopper coming. So she's one day, there were two kittens sitting on our step. There was a little gray one and a black one. She said, so we took them in, and the black one died, so we buried the black one out in the yard. Oh, okay. And then the gray one, we kept her, and then when she got old enough, like one day she got out, and then she wouldn't come back in. She didn't want to come in anymore. She didn't want to stay in. Like, oh, okay. I said, well, is she spayed? No. She microchipped? No. I said, you do know she comes over. Um, Hi, Kim. Yeah, I guess that was you out there, maybe? I heard the phone ringing. I was on here. Um, we're at 100, Kim. That's why I'm doing this. Um, so she came on. She came on. And she came on. Now I'm confusing Kim with the other person. Anyway, let's rewind. You can't have her, Kim. So we as I talked to this woman, she's telling me about this cat, and she's saying I said, she comes over here and eats. She goes, oh yeah, she comes over, she like lives basically, so she lives in the woman's backyard basically. There's no shelter. Now there's no shelter. There's no like little cat house or anything for her. She just lives in the backyard. So then she's telling me about how she comes back periodically and she has kittens because she's not spayed, because that's what happens when you don't spay your cats and you don't neuter your cats. Guess what? You get more cats. I don't know how that works. I don't. It's just magic. It's just you take an unspayed cat and an intact, unneutered cat. You put them together, and by some magical process, they have kittens. Who would think? So her cat comes back every so often with kittens. And she said, oh, we take care of them and then we find homes for them. Now I'm standing here. Yeah, Harry Potter stuff. I mean, I'm standing here. Can you know? Really, really, everyone? Can you just imagine? I mean, I know people that do this, people that work in the like Ruby Dawn. Like we were talking, Ruby and Dawn are having this conversation this morning. You're in this animal welfare space. You see the devastating effects of cats of what happens when cats aren't spayed and neutered. We see the overpopulation. We see cats that are harmed by humans and dogs and hit by car. We see the most grotesque, horrible, traumatizing shit you'd ever want to think of. To us, guess what? Kittens are a bad word. You don't speak it. Don't speak. It's, thou that shall not be named is kitten, because that means more of that trauma and that harm and those problems. That's why we don't speak kitten into existence. That's why we spay and neuter. And this person, I don't know, I think 3 litters. And then when I talked to her, I said, you know what? I said, well, she was out here. She had a kitten. She had a kitten. Oh, maybe it must have been a stray kitten that she found. Okay. That's interesting too. I'm thinking, no, I mean, really, I'm thinking more on the lines of you knew there was something wrong with that kitten. And so after you rehomed or sold or whatever you did with the healthy kittens, that one kitten that was skinny and obviously had some kind of health issue because, I mean, I won't say what was wrong with it because I don't know how Mr. YouTube would feel about that. But there were some issues with the the back end didn't look right, put it that way. And you can use your imagination. There were things that were maybe hanging where they shouldn't have been hanging, put it that way. And we'll, because we'll let people that have been in this space long enough, you'll know what I'm talking about. Um, but I don't want to get into it because I don't know. I'm relatively. We just got 100 subscribers. I don't want. I don't. We're not even monetized yet. I don't want to be. I don't want to have the whole freaking channel taken down. So she says, I have the same neighbor, I think, has 3 females non-spayed. Oh, good Lord, Ruby Dawn. I think this is what I would like to see happen. I really would, and this would have to be, the policy would have to be written though. Again, I'm a big person. Ask Kim and I, and Ruby Dawn, all of us. Um, we actually we actually spoke. For those of you who don't know us, who are just new to the channel, we told our stories to a group of animal welfare providers through Maddie's Fund and UC. Well, Ruby Dawn did the Maddie's Fund, but Kim and I did both UC Davis and Maddie's Fund. And the thing that irritates me to no end is you have people making these policies that don't know their butt from the hole in the ground. They're like, they haven't been there, done that, but they still make policies that impact people like Ruby Dawn that have been there and done that, and are still there and doing that. And it's really insane that they think these policies are going to work, because they're not going to work because of that. They're not, because they don't have that insight. They don't have that understanding. And so what I would like to see happen, but it would have to be under the guidance of people with lived experience of this kind of work. I would like to see some kind of legislation come out where we got some kind of, we would be able to, like those of us that manage colonies like Ruby Dawn does, like I do, that we would have some kind of limited liability, limited ownership, limited guardianship, whatever you want to say, over these cats. So that things like this, like when we have somebody that is letting their cats, their cats aren't spayed or neutered, and they're coming into the colony and they're causing more, that if we are feeding them, if we are basically taking care of them, then they are considered part of our colony, and therefore we should be able to spay and neuter them if we want. We should be able to do, if we, I mean, I really think that should be a thing. I think we should be given that right as colony managers. If an animal comes, I mean, because let's face it, everyone out there who's a colony manager, you have a colony. If one of the members of the colony, it doesn't even have to be a member of your colony, if there's a stray cat wreaking havoc down the street, if they're knocking over trash cans or whatever, you're going to be the one. It's like, oh, it's that crazy cat lady down the street. Oh, I know who's doing that. You're going to be the one. They're going to be knocking on the door. You need to do something about that cat. It's like, okay, then give us the tools to be able to do that. Oh, really? Yeah. So Ruby Dawn says, I don't even know how to talk to those neighbors without losing it anymore. They can't seem to get it. That's absolutely true. And then she says, my animal control told me yesterday that all the cats here belong to me because I feed them. Well, yeah, that is good and bad. So see, under that, if the animal control is telling you that they belong to you, then guess what? You have cats coming, if you have cats that are coming, even if you know they belong to somebody else or, theoretically belong to somebody else, if they're coming and you're feeding them and taking care of them and interacting with them, then I would get them spayed and neutered. And if there's a problem, say, hey, guess what? Animal control said they all belong to me. Go talk to him or her, whoever, whatever gender the animal control person is. Go talk to them. Take it up with them. Sorry. I'm just doing what I was told. Because if they belong to me and I'm responsible for them, I'll be damned if I'm going to get in trouble for these cats not being spayed and neutered. That's exactly what I would tell them, Ruby Dawn. And it wouldn't take me long to tell them either. Now, I will say my neighbor, she is willing to get the cat spayed because I told her, I said, if I can get her spayed and get her, I said, she would be ear tipped though. I said, would you be, I said, it'd only be like $20. I said, I could probably get it done for you for like $20. She said she would do it. So I will give her that. I mean, she was reasonable about it. And that's the only reason that I'm not making a bigger stink over it because, she was reasonable about it. Kim, you're spin mopping while listening. Well, that's kind of, see, who else was telling me? Somebody else was telling me they were feeding cats while they were listening to me. And when I used to do Knowledge is Power, I know a lot of people that used it as a podcast. They would just pull it up and they would just listen. So I'm content with that. I could make this a podcast if you really wanted a podcast. if people are if it's if people don't care to see me, I'm fine. I don't have to sit here. I could just talk and into a microphone and just do a podcast. City, okay. So Ruby Dawn says, City can hit me so hard now. Plus expensive on the care. They wash their hands, but also good because now I have control. You know what? Yeah. See, it is. Yeah, there's pros and cons to it, but you know what? At the end of the day, I think it's better for you. But you can, now when you have stupid people like the one that Kim did. By the way, Kim, that clip was really good. I was talking about that earlier on the before, and I don't think anybody was even here at that point. I was just talking into the ether, but I really enjoyed that because I think that was a great public that should be a public service announcement for spay neuter because it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. The breeder one, yeah. I wish there was a way that I could bring you on stream here with YouTube. I should have done StreamYard because I could have brought you on. I can't do that with YouTube, I don't think. I can't bring a guest on here, can I? Like I would have to shut it down and switch over to StreamYard. Ah. Yeah, we'll talk later, Kim. There were some issues last night that I had to deal with. Yeah, would have to switch. Yeah. Well, we can do it. We can do one. So, okay. So I have. So for those of you who don't know, the the lady with the wrench is Kim Olson. She is co-owner of this channel, and she also, well, this is I consider the Armchair Cat Advocate part of the Life with 18 Cats unedited universe, because it's going to happen. I mean, they're cats. They got to have their own universe, right? Come on, right? So, Kim, what we were talking about, so I recommend everyone go over and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and like her all her little contents, her videos and everything, because basically her channel is just about her and her life with her 18, actually 19 cats. We can't forget little Chewy. And so that's what she does. And then, because we both were really passionate about the advocacy thing, we wanted to start a second channel. So we just talked about it. And so I'm running the second channel. And so she has the original channel, but she's still part of this one too. Except I started so early this morning that she's in Missouri, so she's an hour behind. So when I was starting at 7 o'clock or whatever, 6 o'clock where she's at, and it was like really impromptu, because Kim, I just woke up and I saw that. Well, I didn't just wake up. Rogue's now waking me up at 2. No, he's taking over for Valentino, but he's doing it an hour early. And when after I went out to feed, and before I started doing my little videos for the day. Oh, okay. Oh, I think I know what it is. Does it have to do with the place you went the other day? I think I know what it might be. But what I was saying to everyone, Kim. Oh, good. So what I was saying to everyone what I was saying to everyone earlier in the stream is, so Kim, this is what we're planning to do. Because of the way, so I don't want to interfere with your streams. So we're trying to figure out like when to have streams from this channel. So you, Ruby Dawn, and I were going back and forth about this in this stream, and I thought coming on this time in the morning, like at least maybe once a week, maybe twice, would give the people that live over the pond, a chance. Those people in the European countries, that would give them a chance to participate, because at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, it's kind of like lunchtime, starting to get into later afternoon. So I think that would work for them if they would like to, because I'm sure there are people, in those countries doing TNR and colony management and all that stuff too. And then the other thing would be that Ruby Dawn had a good idea of, because we had talked about having like the kind of the TNR trauma dumping sessions at around 8 o'clock at night, my time, Eastern time, which would be 7 o'clock for you. So we, that would work well, like after one of your streams, like maybe on a Thursday or Friday, maybe on Thursday. So people can Friday night, because I don't know what people do Friday night. They might be doing stuff Friday night. Because that way, during your stream, you could direct people over, and that way we'd get maybe some people from your stream follow you into that, if they're interested. Yeah. So maybe we could do something like that. Okay. That sounds good. So I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, we've been going this is almost a 2-hour stream already. So thanks, Ruby Dawn, for hanging out with me. I thought this was going to be a lot shorter because I didn't think anybody was going to show up. Um, but just really happy that we are at 100 now. And I guess the other thing too that I wanted to talk about too quickly, because I wanted to address this a while back and I didn't. So I had people interested in either and asking me if I have like an Amazon wish list or anything like that. So I'm going to basically do what Kim is doing on her channel. So I'll create an Amazon wish list, um, and I'll also do like links to uh, gift cards, because actually for me gift cards work a lot better because I really shop around. I really comparison shop and to get the best deal to support these guys. So I know, there are people that want to help support the cats, and I appreciate that. The cats appreciate it. So that's when and the reason that we're doing it this way too is that way, if you want to support Kim, like, I mean, you can support both of us, but if you want to support Kim and you don't want to, not that you don't want to support me, or maybe you don't, whatever. But if you want to support Kim or you want to support me, but you want to make sure that it's going to either me or her, and that it's not just like one lump of, okay, well, here's an Amazon wish list for both of us. This is much easier. So that way, whoever you want to donate to, if you want to donate to one or the other or both, it doesn't matter, or neither, that's fine too. I mean, we have a really crappy economy right now, so it's understandable if you don't have anything to donate or can't. So that's, I really need to work on that. I'll probably try to get that done this weekend. And then Kim, if you go over and check out her channel. If you're new to this, definitely go over and check out her channel, like, subscribe, hit notifications, do all that fun stuff. And then if you want to, if you like what you see and you want to help her support her cats, because that's where everything that she gets goes for her cats. I mean, she does have some things that are for her, not the cats, but everything that she's asking for is let's put it this way, anything that's not like cat toys, treats, food, stuff like that. Anything that's outside of that is either going to support the channel, her channel, or the cats. So like for me, I'll probably put paper towels down on that list because I always need paper towels. I know there's like floor cleaners, certain kinds of floor cleaners and things like that that are pet safe. Those kind of things are useful too, because I have to clean the balcony every so often so that, the landlord doesn't have a fit and shut me down. So that's that piece of it. I'm going to just kind of wind things up here now, because I do appreciate everyone. Kim, thanks for jumping on. I'll call you as soon as I get off of here. Okay, you put some Odo ban on. Okay. So yeah, Kim put Odo ban. Let's as far as the Odo, so with the Odo ban, I will tell people this with the Odo ban. So the Odo ban, the floor cleaner, the cheapest place that you can get that is Kim calls it Home Depot. Home Depot. And it is like $10 for a gallon jug of it, and they ship it. So you don't have to pay any shipping. So for Kim, I know she has options to buy gift cards. So you can do that kind of thing too. Like if we know that if it's someplace cheaper, because Amazon, I don't know, sometimes Amazon has really good prices, but their prices fluctuate so much. Like sometimes their prices are insane. Like I've seen Odo ban on there for like, I don't know, $20 a gallon, where I can get it at Home Depot for half of that. So I don't know, but that's Yeah, Amazon is hit and miss with prices. Yeah. So we are advocating strongly to do the gift cards, because that way it see, here's the thing. Okay, it's more economically feasible for everyone. It's cheaper for you, the person that wants to contribute. If you want to support, like, say you want to support Kim, okay, the best way to support Kim, of course, the best way to support Kim or to support me and Kim on this channel is to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That is like primo way. You'll hear every content creator, that's the mantra: like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Everybody has their own little flourish with how they say it, but that's the crust, the core of it is that's what helps us the most. Interaction, engaging, being on the streams, that's what helps us the most. Kim's already monetized, but she can't get sponsors until she gets more subscribers. So that would help her out a lot to subscribe to her channel. We're still growing here. But if you really want to help, her, and you want to help us, or, me with the cats on this channel, gift cards are like the best way to do that. For Kim, because she can get Friskies at Walmart for like half of what Amazon's charging. And that's why she hasn't put cat food down on her list, which is a shame because she needs it. And the Spin Mop gang. um, maybe I'll put a Spin Mop down on my wish list, Kim. Because she loves her Spin Mop. And I have plenty of cat messes too. So that's the best way to support, though, is the gift cards, because you can get your, like she said, she didn't want to burden her. I mean, because let's face it, we're grateful for anything that you guys do for us. We really are. We're grateful for anything, any donations. I don't care. I mean, I'm grateful that there's 100 people that cared enough to hit that subscribe button, that now I'm at 100. That's great. I'm happy for that. I love, right now I see there's like 3 people watching and there's 4 likes. I don't care. I mean, some other content creator might go, well, that sucks. You know what? To me, that's wonderful, because that's, 4 people like this. It's better than no people liking it, right? That's the way I look at it. 5 people like it. Great. Okay, so then 3 people are watching. Well, that's 3 people that maybe those, like Ruby Dawn, she's not having a great time right now. She's going through some stuff. It's great to be able to have people like Ruby Dawn come into the chat and be able to, because I do this too. That's why I go into other content creators' chats, because you know what? I need a mental break too sometimes. So getting back to the whole way to support outside of, the like, subscribe, notification, yeah, gift cards, because you can do most any place now. You can do e-gift cards. Very simple. It doesn't require a PO box. It doesn't require, any other things or special, bells and whistles. You just go on there, click the link, send it as a gift to, it's a gift. Send it to a gift, as a gift to Kim. And then she can go and get the Friskies. And you can and the same thing with me. You can do that with me too. Also, you can designate what you want it to be spent for, and we will honor that. If you say, I want you to go buy, a can of a bag of Friskies, or for me, like a box of a carton of Special Kitty, because I use Special Kitty cat food from Walmart. We'll do that, and we'll happily hold it up up and show you that we went and we got it, and thank you so much. We'll give you a shout out and everything. So that's that little spiel. That's my e-begging. I don't know how many of you watch like the reaction channels to Eugenia Cooney and Jeffree Star and Amberlynn and all those, the Girl World and all that. But I'll tell you, sometimes I go down a rabbit hole of that stuff because I need stuff just to, I sometimes need stuff to just, I don't think. I want to watch something that's just so stupid that I can't form any kind of intelligent thought about it. And the stuff that Eugenia and Jeffrey and friends were doing on TikTok where they were like e-begging, that is hilarious. Leave my Jeffrey alone. I'm not saying anything negative about Jeffrey. I'm saying what they're doing on TikTok is crazy. Like it just like, oh, thank you for the galaxy. For us it'd be thank you for the cat whiskers. Thank you for the cat ears. We Kim, can we get Jenna to work on that? That would be so cool. While we're doing live streams, we have cat ears come up on our heads, cat whiskers. Oh, come on. It would be fun. You know it would. And thank you for the catnip. All kinds of fun things we could have. Little cat running across the screen with a harness like Fury. Whichever one jumped down from the shelf, it looked like it was falling from the ceiling in the first stream that we did. That was great. I love that. Jenna needs to clip that. I don't think I'll have to say something to Jenna. She has to clip that because that's classic. It just looked like, for those of you who haven't seen it, the very first stream that Kim and I did on this channel, where we were introducing the channel and what we were going to do with it. She had one of her cats. It literally looked like someone threw the cat across the room. But she has a highway of shelves above her that the cats can run around. And the cat was right above her head and jumped down because usually she was sitting in the chair where they usually jump down. So the cat just the cat jumped down and then realized, oh my God, there's somebody sitting in my chair. It was funny. It was really funny. It's like within the first, 5 minutes or so of that stream. It was great. So, well, I'm going to end it there because I have to call Kim. We have to chat for like 2 hours now. So that's what we do all day. How'd that happen, Ruby Dawn? So, okay, so Ruby Dawn found a spoon in one of the litter boxes. I don't even want to know. I don't know if I want to know how that happened. Hello. Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but I will try. Is that Heike? Heike? Heike, maybe? Heike? It's probably a really cool sounding name. It looks like a really cool sounding name. Did I pronounce it right? Heike? Is that right? I'm gonna unless you tell me different, I'm gonna just pronounce it Heike. Is that right? Heike? That is really cool. Oh, okay. No, was it Heike? Heike? I don't want to butcher your name. I want to pronounce it the way it should be pronounced. Let me say that is it hi Heike. Is that right? Heike? Let me do it this way. Okay. First Heike, second Hiki. Oh, the first one, Heike. Okay. I'm going to go with Heike because I think that's what you're telling me. Do you mind telling us where you're from? I'm asking because I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find times that work for people outside of the US. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it, Kim? Heike. Heike. Finland. Well, that's cool. I had when I was in high school, we had a girl that was an exchange student from Finland. Well, thank you for joining. Do you have cats? That's like a question we ask everybody. Do you have cats? I mean, you don't have to answer. I'm just we're just coming on here. We're talking about. So I don't know if you're familiar with this channel or not. Oh, oh, okay. Are you familiar with Kim's channel, Life with 18 Cats Unedited? She actually has 19 cats, but she refuses to change the name. Oh, okay. Oh, Kim, somebody that watches your channel. Yeah, see, Kim and I, we're just like we're nosy and curious at the same time. It's probably why we like cats so much. I was like, well, Heike, what what I was talking about, this whole stream was really about people that are involved in animal welfare and do things like trap, neuter, return, um, rescue, colony management, fostering, and how hard it can be. And we were talking about like, Ruby Dawn in the chat. She manages a colony and well as her own, and she's in an area that is not very nice. Where when it comes to the cats, the outdoor cats, the colony cats, they consider them vermin. So we were just talking about how hard it can be to do this kind of work and how important it is to have a support system and to have a safe space where you can come and talk about those feelings and the trauma that you might be experiencing. So we are looking to set up a separate time to have a stream that would be kind of like a support group for people that do this kind of thing. I mean, it's not, you don't have to have cats. You can join, it's fine. We're not excluding anyone. because we want people that, have cats, love cats. So that's sort of where we're at, what we were talking about. But this is really cool. I appreciate you being here. We are at 100 subscribers. So I guess, Kim, that means we have to have a party of some kind at some point. We have to have a celebration. That's right. Well, there was somebody that commented on one of my videos. I can't remember which one it was, that they had a cat. The cat passed away, and now they're in a position where it sounded like they're in a rental situation, and they can't have anything outside of caged animals, like, I guess, gerbils and you know small animals like that, guinea pigs, things like that. Yeah, you can definitely live vicariously, because there's we have we have people between these two channels. We have people that have enough cats that we could we can cover everybody that doesn't have a cat. So yeah, that's well. I'm gonna end the stream there. Um, Heike, I appreciate you being here, and Ruby Dawn. Instead of time sheet, we can have that's a good one. So I do appreciate everyone that showed up. I appreciate the 100 people that subscribed. And I'll appreciate whoever subscribes over 100. Kim, like I was saying, I know, Kim, you feel the same way. I was telling them I never want to be that content creator. Well, thank you for joining us. Come back. I will. I'm This was a really impromptu, Heike. This was a really impromptu live stream this morning, because I got up early this morning because my cat got me up early this morning. And I saw that we had made it to 100 subscribers. So I wanted to come on here and thank everyone. And then I also wanted to talk some about the issues that people are facing with doing this kind of work. And so it was really early. And I also wanted to have a stream earlier in the morning, because I know people in your side of the world, the time difference is so much from us here in the States, that if we have a stream like at 8 o'clock at night, then a lot of people in the European countries are it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. And they can't, and not everyone's up at that time. So I'm trying to do some early morning streams too, so that I can reach people in other countries, so that because there's cat lovers everywhere. Everyone's anyone that's doing this is probably going through a lot of the same things that we go through here in the States. I mean, it's just different, a little bit different. But I just never want to be, and I know Kim feels the same way. I never want to be that content creator that has 100,000 subscribers and is like, can't be bothered. I still want to be as involved and acknowledge as many people in chat as I can. And I know that humanly that probably won't be possible, but I'm going to try, because right now, while we're still small on this channel, I go through, I read every comment. I don't even listen to Mr. YouTube, because a lot of his notifications aren't even accurate. So I just go through, I just check every video, and I know at some point I won't be able to do that, but I can right now, so I do. And I try to heart everything, so that people know that at least they know that I saw it, and I'm acknowledging that I saw their comment, and I'm looking at their comments. So thank everyone. I have to actually call Kim if she wants to talk to me about something. And Kim does have a stream tonight. She has a dinner date. She does her dinner date every Friday night with her HelloFresh. So that's at 6 o'clock Eastern time. So Heike, if you can make that, we'd love to see you there. That would be really cool. I don't know what time that is for you. That's probably really late. But if you're it's Friday night, if you're not doing anything else, you don't have anything other, anything pressing going on, and you can hang out with us, we'd love it. So thank everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for the 100 subscribers. And I hope you have a good day. Don't forget, like I just said, Kim has her stream tonight at 6 o'clock. I'll be in chat. Hope to see everyone there. And I think hopefully maybe Kim and I will, the next stream, Kim and I will do it together. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.